University of Missouri releases hundreds of pages of records detailing structural issues at the University Village apartments. Good afternoon. I'm Angie Bailey.
And I'm Brittany Pieper. A walkway collapsed at the complex and killed a Columbia firefighter on February 22nd. KOMU 8's William Joy joins us in the studio. He and a team of producers and reporters spent the day analyzing the findings from those reports. William, what did you discover?
Well, guys, a report from THH, the independent contractor that MU hired to investigate the collapse, found the cause of the collapse to be a concrete failure. Maintenance reports from the university showed it spent $4,000 just last year to repair the concrete on the walkway that collapsed. Further reports from THH show that unless action is taken, a, quote, catastrophic collapse could be imminent on 3 other buildings. Emails from the university show decks and roofs have concerned MU staff for more than a decade. In March 2006, MU noted that Building 706 was in an unsafe condition and needed to be closed, but residents continued to live there until September of that year. Then in early 2010, MU staff sent emails back and forth saying they were worried about deck and roof repairs, calling it an ongoing concern. In April, MU started outlining a project to work on 8 decks in the apartment complex, but it took more than 2 years to finish that project, and throughout it all, students continued to live in the apartment buildings. Our team is still digging through the documents. Coming up at 6, we'll tell you more about what they say, including just how much the university has spent in recent years trying to fix the complex.
Many of us drive over bridges every day. Hundreds of them are dangerous and need to be replaced, but MoDOT doesn't have the money to do it. MoDOT commissioners met with state bridge engineers today to discuss the issues with the bridges. Bridges in Missouri are built to last 50 years, but the average age of bridges in the state is already at 45. State officials are closing a bridge somewhere in the state almost once every month because it's unsafe. MoDOT commissioners are not diverting any funds away from bridge repairs. The issue results from a lack of funding at both the federal and state level.
An economic report released by the Federal Reserve today shows increasing home sales in our region. Columbia Realtors agree every quarter the Federal Reserve Bank publishes a summary of the current economic conditions in the U.S. Each district publishes a summary of its own with economic information specific to that area. Columbia is located within the 8th Federal Reserve District based in St. Louis. One Columbia realtor says he's seen a serious increase in demand to buy here.
I would say anybody that is thinking about in the next year or 2 putting their house on the market, now's the time to do it because people are beginning to look. And if they want to get the most they can for their house, now's a good time to put it on the market.
The Beige Book report also added that wages, prices, and employment have increased during the past couple of months. For a link to the full report, you can go to our website at KOMU.com.
Governor Nixon says his trip to Canada is resulting in a $3.2 billion trade agreement. Nixon announced the trade deal with the Canadian province of Quebec during a phone interview earlier today. The Democratic governor says the deal would increase Missouri exports in aerospace, agriculture, and manufacturing by 15%. Canada is currently Missouri's largest export partner.
A new budget plan in the Missouri House could make millions of dollars for public schools, but that depends on a strong economy. The House budget would provide a $122 million increase in aid for public school districts, agreed to by Republican House leaders and Senate leaders. The budget would provide an additional $156 million for schools only if the state meets revenue requirements.
Columbia College just finished up its yearly career fair. The Career Services Center held the event that strives to connect employers with students for future employment. Even though Columbia College's website says a maximum of 60 companies could sign up for the fair, a record-breaking 76 employers registered to attend. One career fair student assistant says an effort to establish strong relationships with companies helped the fair succeed this year.
We've got better relationships with our employers than we've ever had before, with more employers, and we've got brand new programs coming out.
The director of Career Services says many students have received positions in the business sector as a result of attending the fair.
The search for the next Columbia Public School Superintendent is nearing an end. The Board of Education picked 2 finalists for that job. The 2 finalists are Dr. Dred Scott, the Deputy Superintendent for the Independent School District, and Peter Stiepelman, the Assistant Superintendent for Elementary Education for Columbia Public Schools. Current Superintendent Dr. Chris Belcher announced in January he's retiring at the end of June.
Thousands of Missourians are still waiting to learn if they'll be covered by Medicaid. That's because the state's Department of Social Services switched to a new computer system in January. The slow transition means 22,000 Missourians are in the dark about their Medicaid status. The backlog only affects parents and children, not senior citizens. The state says it expects the technology problems to be resolved quickly.
We're just becoming more experienced with it, so it's improving on a daily basis. So we think, though, probably over the next few weeks it's going to be resolved.
Woelfel also says once applicants receive Medicaid benefits, they will be granted retroactive to when they initially applied.
A Columbia man's charged with multiple counts after police say he tried to flee. Luther Midget is charged with driving while intoxicated, resisting arrest, careless and imprudent driving, failure to stop at a stop sign as well. And he's charged with failure to register a motor vehicle, failure to insure the vehicle he was driving, and speeding. Macon authorities arrested Midget after they say his vehicle hit a culvert and street sign near Rollins Street and Hyde Street in Macon.
A drug room and a gun room. We take you inside. The Columbia Police Department's evidence unit is getting a roughly $65,000 upgrade. KOMU8's Devin Fastbinder looked around the new unit and joins us live from inside.
These rolling cabinets are just one of the ways that the unit is keeping track of all of the evidence. Now, this entire unit houses between 50,000 and 75,000 pieces of evidence. I talked with some people who work here today, and they told me what they're doing with the money.
Behind locked doors, aisles of evidence sit, numbered, filed, organized. It wasn't always this way.
I don't want to call it a dungeon, but it was it was pretty dark, and it was pretty hard to get around.
A roughly $65,000 remodeling project almost done.
We are in the middle of it. We are not organized by any stretch of the imagination, but we're getting there.
The biggest physical difference in the evidence unit is the addition of a new room. This post behind me used to be a wall that separated the evidence unit from a shift meeting room. If you look down this way, every shelf down here is brand new.
We've needed more room for probably 4 to 5 years.
More room for specific evidence.
This is our firearms room. Nothing in here except for firearms, and we've got a cash vault. This is our narcotics room. This room is basically housing nothing but controlled substances. This is just general evidence, and these are all put in case order. You can see all the different numbers on the front.
The image of clutter, gone. Now a new way to keep pieces of cases both open and closed.
In addition to the $65,000, the city also set aside $125,000. Now that will go to a new system so that they could use barcodes to track all of the evidence. In addition, in the future, the unit plans to go paperless. Reporting live in Columbia, Devin Fastbinder, KOMU8 News.
A crucial college entry exam is undergoing some big changes, and Facebook says no to some controversial advertising. KOMU8's Madison Conklin is here with your look around the nation.
The SAT exam is about to undergo some changes for the first time in 9 years. The College Board is considering eliminating obligatory essays, ending the penalty for guessing wrong, and cutting out obscure vocabulary words. The president of the College Board says the SAT and ACT have become, quote, disconnected from the work of our high schools. The changes to the exam will come in 2016. Facebook is tightening its policies to make it more difficult for people to illegally trade or sell guns on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook announced today it will delete posts offering to buy or sell guns without background checks or from selling firearms across state lines. The social network will also keep minors from seeing posts about gun trades and sales. And people gathered in Kentucky to celebrate the anniversary of a powerful day in civil rights history. Today marks the 50th anniversary of the day Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. led 10,000 people in a march on Frankfort. The march helped lead to Kentucky becoming the first state in the South to adopt a statewide civil rights law. And that's your first look around the nation.
Here's what's happening around the world. A bomb threat sent pro-Russian demonstrators running from a Ukrainian government building. Pro-Russians occupied the building where they raised a Russian flag and chanted "Putin come," demanding the end of ties with the Ukrainian government. Russian forces have control of the area of Crimea but have not entered other eastern parts of Ukraine. Armed men in Crimea held and threatened a UN official today. Robert Sari reports he was threatened by 10 to 15 men as he left naval headquarters in Crimea and was held in a bakery shop. The UN's Deputy Secretary General said the men ordered him to leave Crimea. Sari said he couldn't leave because his car was blocked by a crowd of Russian supporters.
Finally starting to warm up a little bit out there, and it makes us feel like spring could actually be on the way after this long winter. Maddie Heidenreich is in the weather lab with us to update us. Maddie?
Yes, it does feel like spring is on the way, and I hope it is. But first, we have to get over a little bit of a cold spell tonight. Looks like there's already a 15 degrees difference from the northern portion of our viewing area to the southern portion, making in the 30s and Osage Beach almost near the 50s right now. But after that, it does look like we will start to see more sunshine and we will start to warm up. By Friday, at least, we will be close to hitting that 60-degree mark. We'll talk about this and a chance of that precip in my full forecast coming up in just a little bit.
Researchers could have discovered a stepping stone in the search for a cure for liver disease.
And a certain exercise could help increase survival rates for women with breast cancer.
And there's a live look over Pettis County out there around Sedalia. It's been a nice day, hasn't it? It is 5:09. This is KOMU 8 News. First at 5, coverage you can count on.